It did this last time, too.
It did, didn't it?
Huh.
I think it went off as you were slicing down the middle for the core.
Okay.
You'd already cut it in half, I think.
Okay. So we're picking up from there?
Like right now we already did?
Yeah, like you're on.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was little, I used to eat the cabbage core all the time. It's yummy.
So
do you throw out broccoli stems too?
No, I don't. But I don't always use them in the same dishes that I use florets. So once we have the cabbage to a spot that I feel like it's too hard to grip, I just throw it down on its edge and we go this way. These are really long ribbons, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those in half. So our onions are pretty well sweated down. They are not really brown yet, but they are real loose and soft.
Translucent.
They're getting translucent. We're going to go ahead and put the cabbage in. Our spice of the month is
from Old Familiar Ways.
Yay! Is caraway seed. We're going to go ahead and put caraway seed in there. So caraway seed are the seeds that are in rye bread, if you're unfamiliar. So I have this book called the Flavor Bible, and you can look up any ingredient you want, and it'll give you an entire list of things that go well with that ingredient. So 2 matches for caraway seeds are cabbage and cucumbers.
And we actually have the Flavor Bible in the library if you want to
go check it out. It's a very cool book. If you're stuck and don't know what to make and you have a couple things on hand, it's really helpful to kind of spark some inspiration. So I'm making this little sauce kind of to put on the cabbage and pierogis once they're done. So we're just using sour cream to start with. We're going to add caraway seeds, and we're going to add cucumber because cucumber was an excellent match in the Flavor Bible. I don't know that I've ever had cucumber and caraway together, but I'm just going to dice up the cucumber in small pieces and mix it in to that sour cream. It's a pretty rich dish. There's some olive oil in the pan. The pierogis are stuffed with potatoes, and they are pasta. So it's a little bit
carb heaven.
Carb heaven. The sour cream is unique because it is very rich and fatty, but also acidic. But the cucumber is going to help lighten that up a little bit.
And as always in the test kitchen, everything is vegan, including the sour cream.
Yes, we're using vegan sour cream today. You, of course, can use whatever kind you like.
And that's Tofuti?
That is Tofuti brand, yeah.
Mark, Giant Eagle, or Heinen's?
They have it at Giant Eagle and Heinen's for sure.
It smells yummy. You can smell the caraway seed cooking. It's really nice.
Yeah, and the seeds in this one will release a little bit more flavor as they cook. If you want to get real creative with it, you can even toast them separately. You'll get a different flavor profile than if you leave them raw. You can even grind them. Some people, those little coffee grinders, some people will use that for spices. Don't use the same one you use for your coffee. But you can then grind your own spices and you can get a lot more flavor out of them than if you buy them dried from the store.
Okay, question.
Yes.
Don't use the same one you use for your coffee because of the oils or...
Oh, your coffee will taste like spices.
Okay.
If you do have only one, because it's hard to clean them out of all the little crannies and whatever, if you want to use the same one, put bread in it and grind up bread, and the bread will absorb will pick up all your extra spice bits.
Should I turn this up? I turned it down.
Yeah, turn it up. So we want that cabbage to get a little bit brown. So the pierogis that we're using, these are Aunt Helen those pierogis. You can use any kind you want. These ones just happen to be vegan. They are a potato and onion pierogi. They don't have any cheese or egg in them. We just got really lucky that these don't have any non-vegan ingredients, and they're like $1.50 a bag.
Yeah, they're nothing.
So I let these thaw. If you start with them frozen, they're frozen in the freezer section. If you start with them frozen, you have two options. You can put them in the pan frozen. They'll just take longer to cook. You might want to put a lid on it. Or you can boil them just like you would pasta, drain them, and then add them to the pan. We are going to just go ahead and put these right in. So you push the cabbage to this side, and then we can put the pierogis in, and they will get a little bit brown, which I think is great. And we're working with a very small burner here and a giant pan. So bear with us as this comes together.
We want to throw a lid on that.
Yeah, I think we do. This trash can lid here.
There it is.
Yeah, so crank that heat up, and those will take a few minutes to cook. And in the meantime,
We'll just fill space with
Fill space.
whatever. I don't have any of the recipe that I made for tonight's cookbook group is from the Hungarian culinaria, and it's lovely because it's potatoes, peppers, tomatoes, an onion, garlic, some caraway seeds, and some paprika.
yeah,
And
so simple, so affordable, and so delicious. I tasted the broth. I haven't had the whole soup yet, but the broth is fantastic. I'm excited to eat it.
this is, and it was honestly, I woke up this morning going, I don't want to cook tonight. I had all the stuff. I knew I had all the stuff. I just brought it to work and threw it together at lunch, and it's dinner. The other one on this page, though, this is carb heaven. Potatoes, onion, paprika, and pasta.
Yes.
Oh my God! Eat this before a race.
Like 2 days before a race.
Whoa! Having a sleepless night? Eat this.
Yeah, pasta and potatoes is underrated. Leave it. We need the steam. We need the steam to work on those pierogis. I don't want there to be any frozen bits left inside those mashed potatoes. So if you've never made pierogis from scratch, they're super easy. You can throw the dough together with just flour, water, a little bit of salt. Knead it forever. Let it rest for 30 minutes or so. Knead it again, and then it'll be really nice and soft. Roll it out. Cut out circles. Put a dollop of mashed potatoes in there and seal it up. It's a lot of work, so you have to do that for every pierogi that you want. But something to do on a rainy Sunday, and they're delicious. You made your own pierogis.
You started to talk about pasta and potatoes.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
underrated.
It is. It's delicious together. Like roasted potatoes, they get a little crispy. Toss them in pasta with like pesto or something. It's super good.
Okay, this could be fun. This could be a whole new eating adventure.
Yeah, if you've never
it
tried
could.
it, it's awesome. I really like it with orecchiette, the little ear-shaped pasta. And then if you cut the potatoes in a way that they're the size of the inside of those pastas, sometimes you get them to like stick inside. It's just
Okay. These are microscopic potato pieces.
no, they can be like a half-inch dice. They're not that tiny.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. Make them any size you want. I just like them when they're smaller, so you have a higher crisp to potato ratio. The outside's all crispy.
See, this is how she thinks. It's so cool. Potatoes, pasta, blah. That's me. You'll eat it. It's food.
Yeah, well, I think the thing that's important when you think of something like that, you think of a potato and you think of a pasta, you think of them being similar. But okay, pasta is always going to be relatively soft. A potato doesn't have to be. You can create those differences in textures. And that's what we're doing with this and trying to get some browning on the bottom of the pierogis as well. So now you can take the lid off and see where we're at.
All right.
we
You
see
can.
in here.
Mhm.
We do have some browning on the bottom of some of these
Well,
pierogies.
honestly, so I throw them across the room.
They didn't all hit the bottom yet, so we can spread them around, kind of nestle them into the cabbage just to make sure that they are cooked through. So what I like to do, you can kind of push them around to get the pierogies on the bottom, and then it's okay. The cabbage is already cooked, so if the cabbage is not hitting the bottom of the pan, it's okay. And I'm actually gonna take one of these out and see if it's hot all the way through, and then we can get on with it.
Which is getting on with it is the eating part.
Getting on with it is the eating part. I stuck my finger in that. I'll leave that one.
Are they done?
They're warm. They're not hot. So let's pop that lid back on for just like another minute or so. So if you're not tight on space or burners, if you have burners to spare, you can even do these in 2 separate pans, and then so while the cabbage is cooking, you can get a little bit of oil going in a separate pan, put the pierogies in there, and you can control how crispy you want them. I tend to like them to be more heavily crisp, to be crunchy. You get some more flavor that way, and you get an additional texture component that we were talking about.
When you cook them by themselves, do you just put oil in the pan? You don't?
I do.
Throw
Yeah.
onions in there or anything?
I always do pierogies with onions, but I usually do actually I usually kind of do it like this. But we could have saved ourselves a little time by taking the cabbage out of the pan, so there was room for all of the pierogies to touch the bottom at once. But it's okay. I'm sure you're loving this part of the show.
This bizarre confluence of events.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am? No questions from the studio audience?
Not at this point. When do we eat?
We can do it now.
Yay!
The crowd is getting restless. Let's serve them up.
Yeah, the crowd hasn't had lunch today,
So all we're going to do is throw them on a plate, make sure we have some of that cabbage. Actually, should put the pierogies on top of the cabbage for presentation purposes. Gorgeous. Okay. And then just a little dollop of our caraway cucumber sour cream.
Look at how
That is
beautiful
beautiful.
We're good. And this
This is
whole
beautiful.
pan of food costs about $3.
That is beautiful.
So
And even,
have at it.
well, I'm going to serve the film videographer
Yeah.
first.
Make sure the crew gets to eat.
Here's the crew. Here you go, Toots.
It looks beautiful.
And Kat's sitting right behind the camera, so if she gags up here,
No one will know.
I think we have a winner here. Though this is
That
a
is lovely.
pretty simple
Yeah, and that
and
was
easy
really quick.
easy meal that gets thrown together very quickly, as does everything that we do here.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. There we
I
go.
haven't tried the sauce yet, but
And so,
thank you. That's good.
for visiting us in the Fairport Harbor Public Library Test Kitchen. The Try Something New, Spice It Up Cookbook Club is the second Monday of every month. So you can come join us at 6:30 and share food and conversation and meet Lee in person.
Everybody's
Get
dream.
better that. Yes, it's true. Thanks, guys.
See you next time.
Bye.